Who determines the puppy's coat color? I've always wondered, is it the male or the female who determines the puppy's color of coat? And the answer to that one is that neither parent has more influence. Certain colors and patterns are dominant genes, and if one parent is colored a dominant color and the other is recessive, then most of the pups are going to be that dominant color. And every breed is different with which coat color is dominant. So, for example, in Labrador Retrievers, black is the dominant color, but in, let's say, a Westie or a Bichon, white is going to be the dominant color. So then this gets kind of complicated. I'll try and cover it. But if you want to know more about, if you've got a specific breed and you want to know how to predict coat color when you're breeding, just Google whatever breed it is, coat color inheritance. And most breeds have some sites where you can get it in more details. But let's talk about labs, because that's a real common breed around here. So labs have 3 basic colors that they can be. They can be yellow, black, or chocolate. Black is always going to be dominant to chocolate. So a puppy's only going to be chocolate if each parent contributes the recessive chocolate gene, if that makes sense. If one or both of the parents contributes the more dominant black gene, then the puppy's going to be black, but it could still carry chocolate, if that makes sense. It gets kind of complicated. So then, where do the yellow labs come from? That is on a totally different gene location from the chocolate versus black. And for a lab to be yellow, it has to have 2 recessive copies of the yellow gene. And if that happens, then yellow completely inactivates black or brown, and the puppy's going to be yellow. So if both parents contribute a yellow gene, you're going to get a yellow lab. But if one or none of the parents contribute a yellow gene, then the puppy's probably going to be black or chocolate. So very, very complicated. A couple other ways that you can just kind of predict coat color in labs that are not as technical, just by looking at the physical characteristics of the parent dogs can sometimes give you a clue. So let's say both parents have light colored coats. They also have light colored eyes and pink or pale colored skin on their noses. Then that might be an indication that neither of those parents are carrying the darker color genes. If either parent is light colored with a dark nose and dark eyes, then that parent's probably carrying the genes that are going to result in puppies that are chocolate colored or darker. So, and it's not an exact science. Either parent can be carrying a gene that they inherited from generations ago that just suddenly pushes its way to the front of the color line, and then the puppies turn out a color that no one was expecting. Very confusing, but and goes back to high school genetics. But hopefully that, to some degree, answers the question about coat color in labs.